Hello. I am going to make bread and I'm going to show you how I do it. I had never made bread that I can remember until I went to Belize, and at the orphanage where I helped, my friend Clement taught me how to make bread. So here we go. These are the things that I use in my bread. There's Crisco, vegetable shortening on the left, sugar. I have some white flour and some wheat flour and some salt and some coconut milk and yeast, and then the measuring spoons and the cup. So I went ahead and measured everything out. You can find the recipe for the bread on my website. I'll put the address up on the screen. So I've got, starting from the right, I have about 4 cups of wheat flour, whole wheat flour, 1 cup of white flour. The tall glass is about 1/2 can of coconut milk. In this thing here, there's about 2/3 a cup of vegetable shortening. I like vegetable shortening better than butter because it makes the bread kind of flakier, more like a pastry, but you can use butter too. This right here is 3 teaspoons of salt. There's 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then there is 1 package of yeast. And then you'll also add some water to that coconut milk to make it just the moisture you need it. Okay, so I'm ready to put all the ingredients in the bowl. First I start with the dry ingredients. I put the 4 cups of whole wheat flour. Add the 1 cup of white flour. You can use all white, you can use all whole wheat, you can do whatever you want. You can mix other flours too. You just use about 5 cups total. Then I put in the yeast. Then I put in the sugar. And I put in the salt. So this is what the bowl looks like with all the dry ingredients in it. I'm gonna mix it up now. So here I go. I just stick my hand in, mix everything all up. There, looks good. Alright, I've done about all my fork can do. See how it's mostly just like little pieces like this now of it? So usually what I do then is I just take my hand, kind of run it through. If I find any more big clumps, I kind of smash them. See, smash. Just so you don't have any big clumps in the bread. Although I'm not sure if that would hurt. But alright, I think I'm all done. So the next thing I'm going to do is pour that coconut milk in here and add some water. So I take my glass of coconut milk, and you don't have to have such a fancy glass. And I'm going to put a little bit of water too. And I actually don't know the exact measurement of the water and the coconut milk. I just know 1/2 can, and then I add water until it's the right consistency. But you just kind of have to. I'll show you what the dough looks like when I'm done. I think I usually make it so it's kind of tacky a little. I don't know. No one's ever really told me, and when I try to look it up on websites, it never really explains to me very well what the feel of the dough is supposed to be like. So I just kind of have done it over time and find what usually works the best for me. I don't know. So I keep adding water. So then I just keep adding water. And this is about the consistency I want. I think I added about 2 cups of water, but I would only start with like 1 and then just keep adding it until. So now I'm going to take it out of the bowl and put it on the counter, and I'm gonna knead it. All right, we got our dough on the table, and now we're gonna knead. I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way a little so I don't knock it over. I don't actually know what the proper technique for kneading is. I just do this. When I was in Belize, they tried to get me to do this thing where you like fold it over and then you pull or something, and pull and pull, but I don't know how to do that, so I just smash it and smash it and smash it and just keep smashing for a long time. And smashing. All right, I have been kneading the dough now what seems like forever, but really I think it's only been like maybe 2 minutes, but I think it's done. Let me show ya. See? It's like a nice little ball, and it's a little bit tacky. So, I'm gonna put the ball of dough here in this bowl, just set it on in, and I'm actually gonna pinch off actually a little tiny ball like this. Just a little ball of dough. Because when I was in Belize, Clement, the gentleman that taught me how to make bread, this is what they do in Belize. They put this little ball of dough in this here container of water, and they say when the ball of dough pops to the top, it's risen enough and it's ready to go in the oven. So I'm gonna leave that there. This is what the bread looks like right now in the bowl. So I will let you see it at about 30 minutes and at about an hour so you can see if it's risen or not. Okay, so I'm put it here in the bowl, and I'm gonna put this towel over it so flies and bugs don't get on it, because sometimes we get flies in here. And I will let you see it again in about a half hour, and then in an hour, and when this pops up, I'm gonna make it into little balls, and I'll show you that. All right, it's been 30 minutes, so I'm gonna show you what the dough looks like. As you can see, it still hasn't popped up from the glass. So we're gonna pull back this, and I think it sort of looks the same. So I'm gonna cover it back up. So that's 30 minutes. All right, it's been an hour, and if you look, you can see, ta-da, it's popped up to the top. So we're gonna take a look at our bread, and it has risen a little. It always seems to rise more for me in the oven, so I'm going to go set the oven now. All right, so I'm over at the oven, and I'm going to set the oven for 400. 400. See right there? 400 degrees, and it's preheating. So I'm gonna roll the bread next into their little balls. All right, so you saw that the ball of dough popped up like I showed you, and here's what the bread looks like now. I'm just going to dump it over onto the counter. And it does have kind of a different little bit of a texture. It's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, more airy feeling. It's kind of neat feeling. So what I usually do is I just knead it a little bit more, and you'll see the dough has kind of a cooler looking texture. It's not as tacky now. So anyways, I roll it into a ball, and then what I do is I cut it. Get a knife over here, get my bread knife. I usually cut it into 8 pieces and make 8 rolls, so I'm gonna be careful not to cut into the counter since it's not my house. Okay, so here is my last piece that I'm cutting. So now I've got 8 little tiny pieces of dough. And this is how they taught me in Belize to make the little balls, because they make everything like in their own little buns, or I guess that's what you call them, a bun. So I just roll it like this, and then I get this smooth part, and then you just go like this. It's kind of weird, but it works. You just roll, 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 roll. Makes these cute little buns. Dun, 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 dun. You just roll them into little balls. It took me a long time when I was in Belize to figure out how to do that rolling thing. They made it look so easy. And it took me almost the whole time I was there until I finally was like, oh, I think I've got it down. Don't know if I'm doing it the way they're doing it, but I was able to make cute little buns. So that's what's important, that they're cute. Okay, here I go with my last two. And mine don't always turn out exactly the same, but close enough. I'll have different size sandwiches. I just use them for sandwiches. I cut them open and then put stuff on them. That's what I'm gonna do today. I'm very excited. As soon as the bread's done, I'm going to eat a sandwich. All right. So then I usually place them like this. I put 3. I mean, you can do it however you want, but that's what I usually do so they have room to spread. And then I'm going to put them in the oven. As you can see, the oven has reached 400 degrees. So we're gonna open it up. Come over here, get the bread, and slide those babies in there. And hopefully we're gonna do that without burning my fingers. All right, we're gonna turn the light on, and I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes. And then I'll let you see how they are. Yeah, 30 minutes. Okay. As you can see from the timer, we're at about 15 minutes, so I wanted to show you what they look like. Here's what they look like through the glass. Ooh, they're looking pretty, see? Wish you could smell them. All right, I'll let you know when they're done. So, as you can see, the time has ended, so I'm gonna get the bread out. All right. I'm going to get the bread out. First I'm going to turn this off. Cancel. And I'm going to grab this big huge thing and hopefully not burn myself. Whee! Put it there on the counter. See my yummy bread? So it looks a little dunner than normal. I remember my friend saying, now I remember, that her oven cooks a little hotter than normal ovens. So it's possible that it cooked a little higher than it should, but it still looks super yummy. So now I'm just gonna take each one, see, and put it over here. Ooh, they're hot. Ouch. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. And there you go. It's gonna cool.